Jake Banaszak from Lowercase Blues, and Diego Loscano, Sommelier Level 2. And I'm going to make some fresh pasta for you. All here at Shell Brothers' beautiful model home at Marsh Island. So here's Jake Banaszak. Welcome today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. How long have you been in this area?
It's been a little over 18 years now.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I've been here 20.
Okay.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah.
And Lowercase Blues, how long have you guys been together?
Let's
I'll
see.
say.
Yeah.
Oh,
We all
yeah.
moved down together.
Did you really?
Originally, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Awesome. And of course, your bandmate, BJ, is one of my favorite bass players.
Yeah, he's
And,
everybody's favorite bass player.
How'd you guys meet?
We met in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, I was playing guitar after school one day. I had my guitar there, and some kids were hanging around, and he came up. He was like, "Hey man, can I play your guitar?" You know, I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And he just started playing. He was really good. He just started ripping it up. You know.
Right.
It was like the next day we were just hanging out and never looked back.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So tell me about yourself. What, as far as a guitar player, what are some of your influences? Obviously the blues.
Yeah.
So if you were picking, say, one blues player that you really dig listening to, and you know, who would that be?
Buddy Guy.
Buddy Guy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I saw
Yeah.
him when I was 15. My dad took me to see him.
Oh yeah, awesome.
And it just, I was right up front, and it just absolutely blew my mind. It was still to this day, I'll say it's the best show I've ever seen.
Really?
Right.
Well, great. I think it's time to jam. What do you think? Cool.
Let's do it.
We're gonna play one of our songs. One of my songs, actually, off my first CD. It's called "Sometimes." Downtown bar, where everyone was beautiful, so real it may be. You smiled at me, put me to my knees. Little did you know we met body west of Leeds. Sometimes I think of nothing else. Sometimes I think of you, and only you. Should have danced with you when I could have danced with you when I should have danced with you. Now it's too late to dance. Sunday noon, it's time to leave. Back to reality, back from this dream, Sometimes I think of nothing else. Sometimes I think of you. Sometimes I think of nothing else. Sometimes I think of you, and only you. Sometimes I close my eyes. Sometimes. Jake Banaszak on guitar. That was awesome, man. Thank you very much. Tune your palate. That was the music portion. Stay tuned for the wine and the food portion.
We all know happiness can come from a plan well executed. But things don't always go according to plan. And maybe that's okay. Shell Brothers, find your happiness.
Hi, I'm Paul Cullen. Welcome to the wine portion of Tune Your Palate. I have with me today one of my favorite fellow winos, Diego Loscano, who is also a sommelier, level 2.
Level 2,
Level 2. As of myself, in fact, there's not enough room, not enough air in the room for both of us.
I hope there's enough wine. That's all.
That I don't know, with me and you, right?
I know, right?
Yeah. So Diego, what did you bring today to go with my butternut squash ravioli?
Perfect. So based on the information that I had with what we're cooking, the butternut squash, which is a nice fall vegetable. You have the ravioli is going to be the pasta component of it, which is going to be rich, buttery. And then again, a little bit of sage that you mentioned. I could have gone different directions, but I think my top one wine to go with it would be Rombauer Chardonnay. This comes from Napa Valley, and it is a fantastic complement to the food. Rombauer Vineyard's been in business for over 30 years, and they make phenomenal wine. They started making Cabernet, they started making a little bit of Zinfandel and Merlot on that area in Napa. They really didn't want to do Chardonnay until up and later, but I can tell you that they knocked it out of the park because this wine is absolutely delicious. One of the things that I learned is that they have one of the most phenomenal facilities in the country. NASA technology, really.
Really?
They have an optical sorter, so when you put the grapes through this band to make sure the grapes are okay, there's like a little air gun or there's a camera that is capturing all the grapes that go through, and if they see a grape that is not up to their standards,
Right.
the air gun just
Knocks it out. No way.
It's insane.
That is so cool. I've never heard that before. Well, cheers to Ramos.
Cheers to the So as you can tell, this wine, just by the smells, you're gonna find a lot of nice, beautiful fruit, fresh fruit, a little bit of melon, a lot of cantaloupe, pineapple. But then when you get in depth, when you start tasting the wine, you're gonna feel a little bit of that vanilla from that French oak. You're gonna get a little bit of cooking spices, perhaps a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of clove. But also you're gonna taste that malolactic fermentation that we all love in the Chardonnay, which is gonna bring that buttery, nice creaminess to the wine.
Like popcorn.
Like popcorn,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And actually, in reality, when I'm at home and we're watching a movie, I have popcorn with wine.
I've never had it, but I could imagine it.
Believe me, it will work just fine.
Awesome. Awesome.
Measure happiness. Is it based on financial success? A high-standing social status? That dream car we've always wanted? Or maybe it's something a little bit simpler.
Shell Brothers. Find your happiness.
Welcome back. Now it's time to make pasta. One of my favorite things to do. Me and my grandmother Taliaferro used to make it, and my mom Nancy. In fact, during the holidays, our Italian holidays, we would make over 100 raviolis. And I'm the oldest of 31 grandchildren, so I was the kid who got his hands in the pasta first. So we're going to make it. I got some 00 flour, which is really fine, almost like baby powder flour. So I'm going to go ahead and do the well method. Some people use their stand mixer and they measure and all that. I'm not one of those kind of guys. I'm going to do a little well with my fist. And kind of what you're doing is basically making a wall around the pasta. So we're going to go ahead and crack our eggs and put those in there first. So we're going to start out with 2 eggs. And some people will do 2 eggs and egg yolks, which is fine. For me, it depends on what dish I'm doing. I don't think this pasta needs to be any richer, which it would be if you just used yolks. So that in there, like that. Cool. Just going to put a little salt. Like this little thing? Isn't that awesome? You don't have to go all that thing. It runs on batteries. And then, of course, a little bit of Paul's Rockin' olive oil. Just a touch. And then I'll go ahead and take a fork and we're going to start beating the eggs up. Basically what you're doing is scrambling the eggs. And once you get it going, then you start taking the flour from the outside wall and bringing it in, because that's going to thicken up that egg mixture, which is cool. I love making pasta because it's it's funny when you make pasta when you're not in a hurry. It's a lot of fun, but when you're in a hurry, it's not as much fun. So for me, it's relaxing when I'm not having to do a lot of it. So okay, it's starting to come together now. I'm bringing most of the flour in. You can see just visually, because I've made so much pasta in my life, that it's coming together. And then now I think I got it to a good point. Go ahead and take it off the fork. Put these here. And then now I'm going to bring in the flour from the outside. Just kind of play around with it until it starts to come together. So I love it. So this is something I've been doing since I can remember, 8 or 9 years old, with my grandmother Taliaferro. You kind of fold, push, and then fold, and then turn, push, fold, turn, push, fold, like that. I love it. It's funny when you're doing this, when you're first starting, you're like, God, I hope it's going to work, because at first it doesn't feel like it's going to work. And then now I feel more confident because now I actually have a ball. So nice. A couple more times and then we're going to have our ball. Love that. There it is. Pasta 101 with Paul Cullen. Now I'm going to wrap it in some saran wrap, let it sit for about an hour, and then we're going to roll it out.
Good night.
Even in the darkest of times, there's happiness to be found. Sometimes, you just need to turn on a light. Shell Brothers. Find your happiness.
Cheers. Well, I'm back. Rested for an hour, which is super cool. A little sip of my white wine here. So good. Nice. So now it's lovely. I can see that it's springing back, meaning that's in a perfect spot to do pasta. So we're going to do some ravioli. Go ahead and cut it in half and then start the process by sort of stretching it out a little bit, pressing down. Okay, I got it in the spot. I have my grandmother's pasta machine from Italy, my great-grandmother actually. It's a roll one, but it's kind of old, and this one's electric. It's a lot easier to use. So I'll turn that on. There's different openings. This is going to be the widest to go first. So I'm going to fold it one time, stretch it out wider, so we don't have to worry about that later. Because when you do ravioli, you want it all even, all wide. Yep. You can almost see your hands through it. It would probably stretch another 6 or 8 inches if I went down one more. So I'm pretty happy with this, the way it is. Oh, it's so nice. Okay, awesome. Now we got our pasta ready. In fact, you know, I'll make it a little bit easier and cut it in half so we can fold it over quick. So I make fold over ravioli, for a lack of a better term. We're going to go back over this way. I don't have that tray that you set it in and do all that stuff. I like doing it hand. So I'm going to take a little bit of my roasted butternut squash with homemade ricotta cheese in it. I'm going to go ahead and put just a dollop on here. And about as big as that spoon. It's kind of like my perfect filling spoon. And space it out because we're going to have to do, we're going to have that pasta come over, and then we're going to have to cut it, which I have a really unique way of cutting it. Yeah, that's going to be perfect. So the best way for butternut squash is to roast it. I cut it in quarters, and then I put it in on a sheet tray with some olive oil and salt and pepper and roast it. It's one of my favorite things. So now we're going to go ahead and put the pasta over the top. There we go. And then you can see in between and try to get your finger in there. There we go. And one of my favorite ways of cutting this is with a wine glass. Now you got to be careful. This is a delicate one, but and don't grab it from the top. Always grab it from the base. And then just push down and turn it. And there's your ravioli. So I see the air in there, so I'm going to get that air out. Press down. Turn just a little bit, and you got a ravioli. There we go. One more. Now some people will take a fork and go all the way around it. Because my pasta was so sort of moist that by doing this, it sealed the pasta. So I don't need to do a fork all the way around it. Because it would look funky. I think it looks way better like this. So we got that. So we got 4 of them there. I'm going to do another 4. This is my wife Bonnie's favorite dish. I'm going to have to bring these home for her. There we go, butternut squash ravioli by Chef Paul.
Some people spend their entire lives searching for happiness. But maybe we don't always need to look so hard. Shell Brothers, find your happiness.
Raviolis are finished. Now it's time for the sauce. I'm going to start it out with shredding and cooking some speck. So speck is smoked prosciutto. I'm going to go ahead and put that in a hot pan. Get that going. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and take some butter. And we're going to go ahead and take some fresh sage. Add that in. Pretty. That's pretty. Nice. Okay, we got that. Now we got our raviolis. I'm going to go ahead and drop those into our boiling water, which should take all of 2 or 3 minutes. Nice. Pretty cool. I'm going to hit the water with some salt. You always salt the water with pasta. Okay. So now you can see, got that brown butter, speck, and sage sauce. Okay, the raviolis are done. We're going to go ahead and put them right in the sauce. Beautiful. You call that getting the ravioli sexy. Looks so good. There we go. Go ahead and plate it. There we go. We have our butternut squash ravioli, brown butter, speck, and sage sauce. Nice. Okay, we got it now. Now it's time to taste it. You know it's going to be hot, and that's okay. Oh my God, it's so good. The roasted butternut squash with a little bit of ricotta cheese in there was amazing. The brown butter, the fresh pasta, the crispy speck, and the sage. Oh my God, it's so good. Well, I hope you had a good time. I had a great time. I hope you learned something. I always learn something. Until the next time I tune your palate, I'm Paul Cullen. Cheers for now.